Look at the board here. It's a great betting race. I mean, Chunk of Gold's your morning line favorite. You know, this is a horse we all thought was really slow back in the day. He just went wire to wire in the West Virginia Derby. They put blinkers on this horse, and he was a different racehorse. He's getting better and better each and every start. Obviously, he has the class. He's in good form. The blinkers have helped. There's not an abundance of pace in this race. And he turns back from 1 1/8, a 16th of a mile, to 1 1/16. I have no qualms with him being favored in this race. Not the best post in the world, I wouldn't think, for Chunk of Gold. But in terms of disco time, I mean, the good news for disco time is this. You know, he's run well fresh. He won his debut by 3 3/4 lengths, so hopefully for his sake and those of you that back him, the 8-month layoff won't be a big concern. He's undefeated. That's always a good thing. It's not going to rain, but he's won on a fast track. He's won on a sloppy track. He's also won in 1-turn races and 2-turn races. He's also won basically on the front end, and he's won from the clouds. So there's a lot of things to like about disco time. I would say the big negative for disco time is the races that he's won all of them, you know, weren't the races we thought they were maybe at the time. And so I don't know the quality of those horses he was beating. I think they're a little overrated, the Louisiana horses, you know, over the winter. Built, so it was a really good racehorse for Wayne Catalano, but obviously had some distance limitations. I mean, some of these horses, I'll admit, I'll have to go back and refresh myself because I don't know anything about them. So, Disco Time's a horse that I'll probably be against, but again, I've just started, you know, scratching the surface in terms of my handicapping.
So 11 horses have been entered. Now here's the tricky part. 5 of them are cross-entered in the same race at Churchill Downs on Saturday. Yeah. I can tell you Chunk of Gold has confirmed he's not running in the St. Louis Derby, so you'll see him on the screen here. But Chunk of Gold, your 3-2 favorite, will run at Churchill. Brother Kenny is one of the horses that is going to be cross-centered. They're still trying to figure out Billy Morey, but he was third last time out to Chunk of Gold. Hypnus will run in the St. Louis Derby for trainer Kenny McPeak, so the 7-2 morning line choice, he will be over there. Admiral Dennis, Excite, Brother Kenny, they're the other 3 that we're still trying to figure out, as of now, where they'll go. I'm just going to go out on a slight limb here and guess that Admiral Dennis not going to run just because Disco Time will run here. Right. But we'll see. We'll see what Brad Cox decides he wants to do. I'm not so sure that 1 3/16 in the Harrods Creek, the Bourbon Flight, rather, at Churchill Downs. I'm not so sure that's the right distance for Admiral Dennis, but hey, Brad Cox has won infinitely more races than I have, so what do I know?
No, and you know, I think that's a good conjecture on your part that he would go there with Admiral Dennis in Disco Time. You know, first start off that long layoff, showing up here, and if that is the case, again, we're just speculating. That's all we can do. You know, Disco Time, I think you might see the Disco Time that showed speed at Churchill, not the one that came from, you know, the back of the pack at the fairgrounds with that inside post. You know, with some of the speed coming out of the race and Chunk of Gold, and potentially, that's the other thing, too. You know, Admiral Dennis, the horse, was going to be forwardly placed in this race if he were to go. So, you know, you do have some of the local flavor. It would be, you know, I mean, Spellmaker's raced once and is a maiden. You know, you have 2 maidens in here. So, you know, you can't make cases for them. Hypnus, horse that I liked a lot early on. I don't dislike the horse now, but I thought he'd be better than he ended up being.
And you see on screen, I mean, the last 3 editions of the St. Louis Derby, trainer Kenny McPeak has come with intention. He won it with Rattle and Roll in 2022, second with Dennington 2023, and then last year third with Real Men Violin. Let's go backtracking with Hypnus to his last victory. 3 starts back on June 1st at Churchill Downs. It's an optional claiming event, but it was a $1.22 favorite. I thought a good trip. I think this is what we'll see from him. Usually his best style is spot the field a few lengths, and then once the horses start to struggle in the stretch, that's when he finds his best stride. He's a really well-bred son of Into Mischief out of an Uncle Mo mare named Dream Tree, who won her first 5 straight starts. She won the Grade 1 Starlet. She won the Grade 2 Las Virginas, so definitely some route pedigree there. And Dream Tree has not just Uncle Mo, but a Fleet Alex as well in her pedigree. So lots of signs pointing to the 4 Hypnus. I think the biggest question is, once we see the scratches, how much pace Matt Carothers is really going to be in the St. Louis Derby.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He's a real honest racehorse. I guess he's probably going to run his race, which, you know, it could be good enough to be very competitive, not win this race. I think he's a notch, or probably a couple notches below some of the top 3-year-olds. But you have Kenny McPeek and you have Wathman Racing. I mean, I don't know. Off the top of my head, are they going to be nominated for an Eclipse Award? I mean, they might. I mean, they've won so many races. I know Godolphin wins every year, but wow. I mean, I know they won the Dubai World Cup. They've won so many big races, and internationally, too. So you have big-time connections, obviously, with the pedigree that you mentioned. You know, just initially, again, scratching the surface, and I know we have other things to get to. And it's all about me, of course, with the St. Louis Derby on Friday at first post 2:30 Eastern, and in 8 races carded. So the 8th and final is the St. Louis Derby.